Welcome to this week's meeting of the Rotary E-Club of Silicon Valley. And this meeting and our club, we focus on innovation, entrepreneurship, and education. And we use technology to meet our goals of serving the people in the world and making the world a better place to live. Each week we have a special guest which we invite to give a program to our club members and those that watch the videos in regards to us within our area. This week we are doing something a little bit different, but in that we're having what's called a spotlight on membership. And what that means is that we, with a new member, in order to introduce that member to the club and to people in Rotary, have that person give a program in order that we can get to know that person much better. And this week we have Alexandra Heller. And I know very little about Alexandra, except I can tell you that she works for Rotary International. And at this point in time, I'm going to turn the program over to Alexandra, and I'm looking forward to her program. Take it away, please, Alexandra.
Many thanks, Roger, for this very nice introduction. I prepared a few slides which I would like to share with you. I hope you can see them. Perfect, great. Thanks a lot. So basically, just figure out that it somehow does not work. No, okay. So my name is Alexandra, as Roger said, and I'm taking care of clubs and districts in the countries Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Russia, and of course Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is a small country within Switzerland. I would like to focus today on the following topics. Where are our members? What is Rotary International? I hope that you can learn more about Rotary International as an organization, and also that you get to know my Europe and Africa office in Switzerland. And of course, I'm there for you to answer questions. Maybe who I am. I'm Alexandra. I joined your club recently. I met Raquel in San Diego during the International Assembly, and Raquel was presenting our club in a very nice way. And I just joined a few meetings, and now I'm here and also a member of your club. I'm very happy to be part of this club. To the first question, how many members we have and where do we have them? So here you see that our membership worldwide is more or less always 1.2 million. That's more or less stable if you look at the 5-year membership trends. And where are the members? So here you see a worldwide map, and you see in which region we have how many members worldwide. The next slides show a little bit more precisely who our members are. So if we talk about the diversity, especially gender diversity in Rotary International, it's not very diverse, because if you see that the global female membership is only 22%, is not really diverse in my opinion. And also, unfortunately, there are not so many female leaders within Rotary. About the age, it's also not so much diverse, but this is something which we cannot precisely say, because age is not a mandatory data which members, Rotarians, put into the system. It's something which they do on voluntary basis. That's why we have 40% of our members who do not report this age. But where we have the age reported, you see that also there, the diversity is not very given. I also would like to withdraw your attention to the fact that we have youth programs, namely Rotaract and Interact, and how many Rotaract clubs we have worldwide, and also Interact clubs, because this is also a great opportunity to get young people into our organization, to get them involved. And here we see the top countries worldwide where we have the most number of members. And you see that in the United States, it's still #1. Then we have some Asian countries. Afterwards, we have Germany, where the membership is, by the way, very much stable. And the next slide does show the development, how the membership does develop in the last, let's say, 10 years. And here we see that United States, it's suddenly not place 1 anymore, but rather the last place, because there the membership loss is very high. And we see that the Asian countries have a very quick growth of membership. This is the Rotaract program. Maybe you heard that Rotaract is now member of Rotary International. This was decided during the Council on Legislation 2019. And Rotaractors are young persons between age 18 and 30. And just to show that we have 24 Rotaract clubs in Switzerland, because my office is in Switzerland, in Zurich. And also about Interact, these are young people aged 12 to 18. And so far we have only 1 Interact club in Switzerland. Just maybe 2 basic information, but sometimes we really have the impression in our office that this structure is not clear to everybody. So a Rotarian does belong to a Rotary club. And several Rotary clubs form a Rotary district. As the head of the district is a governor. And several districts belong to RI zone. And at the head of the zone is a director. Worldwide, we have 17 directors who represent 34 zones worldwide. Some people also ask us who does the rules in Rotary International, because sometimes they believe that these are the employees who invent all the nice rules. It's not true. On the one hand, we have the Council on Legislation, who meet all 3 years. The recent council took place in April 2019. And on the other hand, we have Council on Resolutions, which takes place online every year. And there, the decisions can take, or they take influence on our policy, basically, Council on Legislation. And Council on Resolutions is there to discuss different ideas, which even might not have any connection to our policy. On the other hand, we have Board of Directors, as I mentioned, 17 directors worldwide, and they meet 4 times per year to discuss also our policy, and they can change the Rotary Code of Policy. I know this is quite complicated, but just to give you some overview and to show who invents the rules in Rotary International. So basically, that's a very democratic organization, and these are you, the members, who invent the rules, not the employees. You probably already have the impression that this is really a huge organization, and this organization also requires some permanent employees like I am, and we have 8 offices across the globe. The world headquarters is in Evanston, which is very close to Chicago, and the office I'm responsible for is the Europe-Africa office in Zurich. And as the name already says that, our office takes care of the whole Europe and Africa, apart from RIBI, apart from Great Britain, which is completely separate. I also would like to say that our office is is the oldest one, and also the most complicated one, because our employees have to take into consideration so many mentalities, so many religions, so many languages, so many currencies, compared, for example, to our colleagues from the Japan office, who just take care of Japanese. Maybe one question to you: have you heard about our office before? Just raise your hand if you heard something about our office. Okay, so I see Roger heard something, Rushton heard also something. And the next question, have you ever had contact with your colleagues or with my colleagues from Evanston? Okay, also both of you. That's interesting to hear, because sometimes people even don't know that there are some Rotary International offices. So this is just a picture of our headquarters in Evanston. There we have about, I think, 600 employees, and we have there many specialized departments, like, for example, for youth exchange or licensing department, also the Rotary programs for young leaders and alumni relations. And here's the picture of our Europe-Africa office, which is located pretty centrally in Zurich. So in case you will be in Zurich one day, it makes absolutely sense to visit our office. Just let me know beforehand. I will be more than welcome to welcome you to our office. As I said, we are the oldest international office. We were founded in 1925. And here on the left side, you can see a picture from 1930. And maybe you also can see a table behind the round one. We still have this table in our historical room in the office. And all visitors are very much excited to touch this table because it's really something historical. Maybe some numbers about our office. I will not read everything, but just maybe as a summary, that we take care of 25% of Rotary members worldwide. So 2/3 of the world's countries. And as I mentioned, we are very international, and we have to be very international because in Europe there are so many languages which are spoken. And from the primary Rotary languages, we have 9. We do serve in all 7 languages apart from Japanese and Korean. And as you see, English is the most used, the language which we use most, because, for example, people from Bulgaria, if nobody speaks Bulgarian from our office, we have to find something in common, and this is in most cases English. But we also have many Germans, but not only German people speak German, but also some other countries where you would not think about. Like, for example, in Romania, there's a pretty big German-speaking community. But also we do provide service not only in the primary Rotary languages and the official languages, but also in some other languages. Like, for example, myself, I speak also Russian. I was born in Moscow, and this is very much appreciated by our Rotarians that they can speak in their own language. So these are some facts about our office. We have 42 employees. We speak in total 19 languages. We are very international. We are from 23 nationalities. Our ratio is almost the opposite of from what we have as our members, as Rotarians. We have 70% female employees and 30% male employees. And employees stay there for a long time. So we really have a long average employment period. Here are some pictures from our office. And this is the table which I mentioned before on the picture from 1930. So it was renovated, and that's something very special in our office. Yeah, so here are the departments which we have in our office, and you see that Club and District Support, CDS, is in yellow color. That's why I belong to this department. That's the reason why it is yellow. I also think, honestly, that this is the most important department, not only because I work for that, but just because I think that we are really the primary contact person for all Rotarians who contact our office. And then we can direct them to the right contact person, or we can try to help ourselves. What do we do in general? So we train. Maybe you heard that governors-elect have to visit the International Assembly and also the Governor-elect Training Seminar, GETS, which is regionally organized. So we are there to support them and also to train them, but also if we have visitors like groups of assistant governors, but we are also present during the PETS, so President-elect Training Seminar. Maybe you remember the program which was organized by Zvertko, where he told his experience about the PETS. We are also regional experts because we are taking care of some particular countries, and we know exactly how Rotary is in those countries. And we also explain Rotary's policy. So if you have any policy-related question, just feel free to contact me anytime. And we have also the opportunity to provide our Rotarians with administrative support. We help out with My Rotary, which is on Rotary.org. But we are also there for our clubs if they would like to change the name or if there's a plan to create a new club. Just because I mentioned My Rotary, in case you don't have an own account, here are some good reasons why you should create an own Rotary account. You can participate in discussion groups where you can really exchange the opinion or share ideas with all Rotary members worldwide. But also, if you think about conducting a project, you can go to Rotary Ideas or Rotary Showcase, or you can also find contacts from members worldwide in our official directory. I will not discuss it too much in detail because we do not have so much time for that, but just to give you some ideas, I think on the next slide there are some other ideas as well, like the brand center, where you can find all the related brand-related stuff, like images. We can create logos there, but also we have a learning center on Rotary.org, where you can just really get to know some topics where you maybe were not so familiar with. Like there's a topic about the foundation. We are sometimes surprised that not all members are aware what Rotary Foundation is. So there are some interesting sources to get the knowledge about Rotary and the Rotary Foundation, just to give you some rough idea. Yes, so this is my part, the very theoretical part, but just really feel free anytime to contact me with any questions. And of course, I'm also here for you now to answer any questions you might have after my short presentation. Thank you.
Do you have any questions, Rushton?
Absolutely. So one of the things you talk about in being part of the Europe and Africa office, you talked about the number of languages that the people in the office speak, and then you had that list of how many contacts you have with different languages.
Yes.
Is English really high on that list because A, RIBI is a separate organization, but B, in Africa, there are dozens, I'm guessing hundreds of languages you might encounter. And English is a natural kind of first point of connection that way. Is that the case?
Yes, so basically the most people who speak English, they are not native speakers. But as I said, we try to find a language which everybody understands. And this is in most cases English. You're absolutely right. In Africa, our colleagues who take care of Africa, they speak French and English.
That makes sense. And I'm curious why, there are probably historical reasons why Rotary International of Britain and Ireland exist as a separate organization from the Europe and Africa office. Is there kind of a natural, concise answer to that?
Yes, so I'm not sure exactly how it happened and when it happened, but I think it was already happening during the time of Paul Harris himself. So this is really kind of separate thing. They have their own rules. They have their own general secretary, who is named CEO now, by the way, after the council legislation 2019. But recently we also see a change that people from our RBI really look for a contact with us. They like to exchange, they like to participate in the same events. So this is actually a very nice development.
Yeah, I attended a district conference in Ireland some years ago when a friend was the district governor and was really inspired that district is all of Ireland, right? The country of Ireland and Northern Ireland, that part of Great Britain, and how they could come together, in that setting, very, very nicely. that was one of those things that reminded me why I'm in Rotary. I thought that was very cool.
Thank you.
Artem, do you have any questions of Alexandra?
Well, he's considering kind of possibilities, and he may have had to step away.
Right. Yeah.
Two quick things to identify is that Artem is joining us today because he was at the international convention and learned about our club and wanted to learn more about it, which is really cool. Similarly, you Alexandra, you mentioned this kind of on the front end, but you're a member of our club because you met Raquel at the International Assembly.
Exactly. Thank you, Raquel.
I know, that's so cool. Well, and it's such a reminder that if the members of our club tend to be members of our club because they're very busy people, but they have a heart for service. They're really interested in the international nature of Rotary, our efforts to improve communities everywhere. And still, what matters is person-to-person conversations, right? Just having that moment. I really like our Coffee with the Rotarian series. I've had good conversations with Roger, right, where we talk for about 30, 45 minutes about whatever comes to mind. But those personal conversations are very much, I think, the core of even an online-based club.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Alexandra, what has surprised you most so far about our club, if anything? Is there something about our club that you said, wow, that to me was really the thing that made you want to join this one?
Yes, this is actually the diversity, which I miss in some other clubs, because of course the majority of the members is from the Silicon Valley or from the US, but still we have so many other members from all over the world. I'm the only one from Europe, and this is so interesting to me, just to get to know people from somewhere else, and also to get to know how Rotary is somewhere else. Because obviously in my normal life, I only met Rotarians from Germany, Switzerland, Russia. So this is very nice and exciting to learn Rotarians from all over the world, and to understand also how Rotary works somewhere else, because we are all one Rotary. The core value do unite us, but still there are huge differences.
Well, I'm curious about your work with Russia. However, Roger, if we're running out of time, I can save it for after the recording.
Okay. Let me ask a couple of questions, and then
Sure.
We've heard an awful lot about your work life and very little about you personally. And so first of all, I take it that you were born and raised in Russia?
I was born in Russia, so I was born in Moscow, but I was raised in Germany, in Nuremberg. Maybe you know this place. This is in the south of Germany, Bavaria, not so far away from Munich, like 2 hours away from Munich. Yeah, and maybe I did not mention too many things about myself, because I'm probably too European in this context, because we all are worried very much about the data protection, the personal data protection. That's why I thought, okay, that's probably more interesting not to talk about myself for half an hour, but instead to present to you some interesting facts in my eyes about the membership development worldwide.
Right.
Which is in some regions pretty worrying in my eyes, but also to introduce you to our Europe-Africa office, because normally you do not get the chance to have contact with us.
Exactly. Now, I take it from our previous conversation that you have presently one child and you are expecting fairly shortly a second.
Yes, not very shortly, but yes, should come somewhere around October, November.
Okay, that's excellent. And what sort of hobbies do you have? What's outside of looking after your children, your child and the one to come, but what else are your hobbies? What sort of things are you interested in?
I'm afraid it's really Rotary. I spent so much time with Rotary. Now I also joined the club, and I'm very happy being a Rotarian now, and also have the opportunity to see Rotary from the other side, from the employee side.
Right.
It's cool to love your work, that's for sure.
Right. So for you personally, which area of service interests you most?
I think the membership development is really a very important area. That's why I also spent a couple of time to present to you some facts about the membership as such. But I also think the service is so important because this is in the end what counts.
Okay. The other question I have for you is relating to the club level, since you're very interested in Rotary. What are your areas of what you would like to see yourself involved in our club?
Oh, I'm actually very flexible. I can also imagine to do something foundation related because in my normal life, I do not have anything to do with foundation. So I guess this is the area where I could learn the most, but I'm really open-minded.
Okay. Being from, you are presently live in Zurich, Switzerland. How long have you lived there for?
So we are here maybe like a little bit more than 10 years. The time flies.
Exactly. Do you do any skiing or skating?
Actually, I was doing snowboarding, but I had an accident in the snow. And that's why now I'm a little bit not so excited about that.
Right. Okay. Are you interested in doing reading?
Yes, I like literature very much. I also like swimming. I enjoy the nature, like go on hikings. And here in Switzerland, we have great possibilities to do so.
Okay. Now, the question I have for you as well, relating to your work, is do we have any clubs in Hungary?
Yes, we do.
How many do you have a rough idea?
No, I cannot say anything about that because this is not the area I'm taking care of. But if you would create a Rotary account, there you can see exactly how many clubs we have there because we have this so-called official directory. And there you can really just see the contacts of the club officers there. But you can also go to the club finder and just type in Hungary or Budapest and see how many clubs will appear on the website.
Okay, thank you. Now at this point of time, if you are a guest or a member of this club, please do not forget to fill in your attendance at the after this program. And if you are visiting Rotarian, by filling in your correct email address, our club will forward back to you a receipt of attending this meeting so that you can give it to your your club secretary to register as a makeup. In addition to that, right at the bottom of the section, there's a comment section. Now, this section is not only designated for you to give your positive or negative comments, but is also designated so that you can ask our guest speaker any questions that you may have that arises out of this program. And I would encourage you to fill out that comment section so that we can get a dialogue going and you can learn more about our club and also to learn more about Alexandra and what she does. Now, as before we close this meeting and the program, I would we turn the meeting back over to Alexandra to give the last word.
Thank you very much, Roger. The only thing I would like to say is thank you very much for listening, and please feel welcome anytime in our Zurich office, and really please feel free to contact me with any Rotary and non-Rotary related questions.
Thank you very much, Alexandra, for your participation.
Thank you.